All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to need to buckle up for this one. There is a bucket load, nay, a boatload of nostalgia coming your way, and I cannot stop it, and I will not be responsible for the consequences. So, yeah, just forewarned is forearmed, and, yeah, pretty cool that you got 4 arms. It's some sort of superpower, I guess. Anyway, so we are talking about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, a game which is so important to my life that I literally cannot be objective about it. I can't pretend to be objective about it. I will not be objective about it. Like, I lack the ability because of what this game means to me. Now, if you will indulge a little in the middle, where I am definitely going to wax nostalgic, I will start us off with a little background info on the game. So, made by Activision, made by Neversoft, published by Activision in the year 2000. My goodness, what a time that was, you know, like, whenever I think of the year 2000, I think of the fantastic Conan O'Brien bits, the in the year 2000, in the year 2000. Like, if you remember those bits, then you are loving that. If you don't know those bits, then you think that I have lost my mind, and rightfully so. Don't worry, I won't tell you that you are wrong, but here's facts. The year 2000, things were exciting, and it was, you know, one of the most formative summers of my young life. So yeah, you know, because Bush was president. We hadn't had a 9/11 yet. You know, the world was still made more sense than it does now, quite frankly. Yeah, you know, it just happened to be a time where the perfect game came along at the perfect time, because if you look at interest in skateboarding in the United States, there are a few, like, key pivotal moments, you know, that really defined it, right? So you had the 1960s. The 1960s, everybody was, like, flat ground skating. That's where Rodney Mullen learned all his tricks. Which is why he is someone that people can't copy, because they lack his technical expertise and a style of skating that almost no one does anymore. Anyway, so yeah, it was in the 1960s, and then, you know, 1970s it kind of died out. 1980s is when the guys who make their appearance in this game really kicked it off. And so, you know, we get your Bob's Burnquist, and, you know, we get your Tony's Hawk, your Mike Caballeros, Steve Caballero? I forget what his first name is. I clearly don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, no, like, all of those guys were big in the 80s. Like, they hit it big in the 80s, carried over into the 90s. Skateboarding was everything in the 90s. Like, I just thought it was so cool. I did not have a quality deck, and so I could not do it, and, you know, was generally bad at it. But in the 2000s, like, all of a sudden, me and everyone I knew could afford a decent quality deck. I still have mine to this day. And we started hitting the skate parks and learning tricks, you know? and that's where the summer of awesomeness takes off. And I tell you this not launching into the nostalgia yet, but just to say that like everybody was doing this at this time. Skate shops were just opening up all over the place. The X Games had really hit. Is a big part of what happened. X Games, and like in the early 2000s, there was this entire push for the extreme. Like we had extreme drinks, and we had extreme clothing, and we had extreme music, and everything was extreme. It's also, interestingly, when the Extreme Football League happened, and some of the most extreme wrestling, things were pretty extreme there in the early 2000s. Not gonna lie, it was an extreme time. And so, like, with all this emphasis on the extreme, there was another massive insurgence of people being interested in skateboarding. I know this because I was a part of it. So yeah, like this ties in with my own personal history with skateboarding. So I know this. Like this is my own very history, which is why I'm telling you I cannot be objective with this game. So yeah, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 came out and it was gangbusters. It was, people could not get enough of it. And Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 comes out and it's even better with, better levels and better ways to progress through the game, like just better designed. 3 has some good things. It feels a little rushed compared to 2, because like they literally could not make these games fast enough. I mean, you get to the later the PS2 era and whatnot, and you're getting like American Wasteland 2, and like 15 different varieties of Tony Hawk. You got the Tony Hawk Ride with the skateboard thing that you can find in any thrift store in America right now. They just go there. They have one. Like, nobody wants them. They are terrible. Anyway, so yeah, it's an interesting thing that this game like just crushed it so hard, and I was on that way. Like I am not always on time when it comes to gaming. A lot of times I am playing vintage games when everybody else is playing modern games, and very often, playing budget games when everybody else is playing AAA games. And so, like, I have missed some things in my gaming life. Which every now and again I will do a review and it's like, oh, you've never played that game before? It's like, yeah, well, it's been sitting in my library for 7 years, but like, no, I haven't played it yet. Of too many games. I think we all agree. Anyway, but like, this one, and let me apologize. Like, I know I've been waxing rhapsodic about this game thus far. Here's the funny thing, is that you will have seen me wreck badly and just generally do badly at this game, and it's because I have the wrong controller. Two things real quick about PS1 emulation, and then I swear I'll get off it. But like, it helps explain why I'm so bad at this right now. I feel like I have to, vindicate myself a little bit, because I don't suck as badly at this game as this footage would have you believe. Because if you put a PlayStation 1 controller, you know, the first DualShock controller, you put one of those in my hands and I will destroy, you know, like, I'm pretty good at this game. I have spent so many hours playing it. But the problem when I went to record this footage, yeah, my controller, all of the button mappings are wrong, and I didn't, it would be too much hassle to like go through and figure out every single one, because I would have to do it using the muscle memory, because I'm to the point with Tony Hawk 2 where I don't think about it. I don't think about my button presses when I'm playing it on the PS1. So, yeah, when all of my button presses are wrong, that's when you see me, like, you know, doing some, like, melon grab when I'm trying to grind a rail. And then I just face plant because, you know, melon grab, you need to get some air to be able to pull that off. And I'll just be trying to do it on flat ground up on the lowest curve, you know, and then I'll just biff hard. Yeah, so I fully acknowledge, like, the gameplay that you were seeing is atrocious. Like, just horrible. But you can tell that, like, I know where the secrets are and stuff. It's just, I'm having a hard time. Like, I won't say that I'm like, you know, speedrunner good at this game, but I will say that, like, you know, in the first couple of levels, I can normally take care of like 3 to 4 objectives per run, you know? Like, I'll just be down to like the secret tape and a pro score or a 6 score or an impossible, like I forget what the scorings are. But whatever is the highest, be like the what? Who could do that score? Yeah, normally after 2 runs, I'll just have like that and the secret tape left. You know, and I do know where the secret tapes are. But like clearly when I don't remember what my grind button is, I can't do some of the like wall rides that you need to do to get up to the super high areas that like have the secret tapes and allow you to like do the grinds across like high wires and the connect buildings together and stuff. You know, like I'm not able to do that because my muscle memory is betraying me every time. And so I'm trying to relearn how to play the game with the wrong buttons. And I know that like it would just be a matter of like taking an hour to like sit down. I would have to hook up my PS1 and then I would have to like do the trick and then watch my own hands to see what I do. Like that's what we're talking about in terms of like how much, like, because I put a summer into this game. So yeah, I'm sorry. Like, controller issues, and I just, yeah. Due to the other issues that I was having, I just wasn't willing to put that time in, because here's why. Because I didn't just use one emulator, I used like 3-4 different emulators, because it just didn't look right. You know? Like, there was a look to PS1 games, and PS emulation, it's amazing. They can run these games very quickly, very effectively, but, like, I'm sorry, it doesn't quite look right. There's the way that a PS1 game looks on a CRT, and, you know, because the screen is crappier, and the pixels tend to like blend together a little more, you get a sort of, blurring, dithering type of effect where, it sort of washes away some of the sins of the harder edges of the images. Because, like, I look at some of the ways that things like, Final Fantasy VII look when they try to do a direct port to a modern console or to, like, Steam. And I have Final Fantasy VII in, like, many different ways of playing it. And I haven't decided which one I'm going to do yet. If you have recommendations, please leave them down below. I have the remake, the remaster, the original. I can play it on the PS1. I can play it on the PS2. How should I play it? What is the best way to play it? Because I can play it on lots of different things. I can emulate it on my Vita. I can play it lots of different ways. How should I play it? What will be the best? This is my question to you. But anyway, regardless, like, the worst screen would sort of blend the pixelated look of PlayStation images, making them actually look better in some ways. And these sharper, better screens, they just show you, like, here's a pixel and there's a pixel and that's a pixel and this is what that pixel looks like, and it's too crisp, and so it looks wrong. It does. And so, like, I will tell you this, I am most likely not going to be playing Final Fantasy VII in emulation, although I very easily could. So, yeah. Again, ideas on how you think it's best played for someone playing it for the first time, because I've never played it before. I've seen people play it. I remember friends putting way too much time into playing it, and me just sitting around going like, we do something. Do you have any two-player games? And they're just like, just a little bit longer. This game is so good. Like, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I've never played it before. Anyway, regardless, back to the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. These games, when they came out, were so sharp and crisp, and not only that, but they carried the right attitude. The soundtrack, which you have not been hearing. I'm sure I came up with something absolutely appropriate to play in the background that takes the place of the punk rock, and in many cases the pop punk of it. But, like, here's the thing. Like, let me launch into a little bit of my nostalgia for this game. Let me say, first and foremost, like, there is no other skating game, skating franchise that I've ever encountered that so perfectly carries the spirit of what people want to be when they are skateboarders than Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I'm just saying that. Like, and look, I told you from the get-go, I cannot be objective about this game. Here's me not being objective about it. But the controls are perfect. When I'm playing with the right controller. The music is excellent, because every band is like an awesome punk band. Like, whoever put this soundtrack together is awesome. And we had very similar taste in music at the time, whoever put this together. So yeah, it was really cool. And so, like, whoever was going to the same Vans Warped Tour shows or whatever that I was going to made a great soundtrack, which you're not hearing, but is emotionally, like, how music carries emotion, and music can transport you back to a time and a place. Yeah, the music from these early levels especially, like, takes me to a time and place. Inextricably, it is tied to a place in time which was very formative for me. And so, like, while everything about this game is absolutely perfect, and it was the perfect game at the perfect time where everybody caught on and was like, let's get skateboarding and let's play the hell out of this game, which we did. But like, here's what was happening in the summer that I played this game for the first time, and indeed played it many, many, many times over, as did the other guys in my apartment. I was living with 4 guys. All of us started that summer single. Like, we were just a bunch of dorky single guys. And like, we had all been raised extremely strictly religiously. And so, yeah, we'd never done anything worth talking about, pretty much, with our lives. And so, yeah, you know, this game came out, and we all got skateboards, and we all started hanging out in the skate park. And like, there's girls at the skate park who like the kind of guys who hang out at the skate park, who like listen to, you know, punk and pop punk, which is what the guys who hang out in the skate park listen to. And these girls want to like hang out with guys from the skate park, which is what we became. And so, like, you know, a lot of very important experiences came out of that summer. And a lot of us, like, it was kind of a rumspringa where, like, we let our hair down for the first time in our entire lives. You know, it would actually make a decent movie, the summer that we had. But like, believe it or not, I made out with a girl because of a song on the soundtrack to this game. That is a true story. And then we dated over the summer, and she was like, yeah, I don't want anything real serious, but like, we can have some super much fun over the summer. And I was like, that's what I was also looking for. It hurts when someone says that to you and you are being serious. You're like, no, I seriously like you. And they're like, no, let's just keep it light. And then you're like, this is killing me. Nah, but when you're looking for the same thing, which is what I was that summer and what we all were that summer, you know, and we all found our way. And like, it was awesome. Like, I was cool for the first time in my life, and you know, like, had a cool, awesome girlfriend, and like, things were good. Things were very good. Yeah, like I said, 9/11 hadn't happened yet, because this came out in like April of 2000, I think. Yeah. Or no, it came out in September of 2000. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. Does that mean that by the time we were playing it, because we played it over the summer, September is the end of it, did we play it the summer of 2001? Like really close to 9/11? Crazy. Yeah, no wonder after that there was this sense that like, and then everything changed and became dark and we all got really serious. Like, yeah, things done had changed. So yeah, anyway, like, my memories of this game, there were 3 things that we did constantly that summer. 2 were movies, 1 was this game. So we watched Army of Darkness, which is my favorite movie of all time. We watched that movie so much that we like memorized the commentary track from the DVD. That's a lot. That's watching it a lot. And then also we watched Office Space. And then we played this game. And then we went skateboarding and got girlfriends and had the best freaking summer ever. And then the dark times came. Like, so yeah, there's something about this game that's like the last purely incredible time without massive responsibility and all that I ever had. So I can't be objective about it. Let's just put a final score on it. I've rambled enough. It is final score for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on the PlayStation 1. We are going a 10 out of a possible 10. Hot OOs. We never came up with a good idea for what the 2000s should be called. Early 2000s skate park pop punk girlfriends. Yeah. Which, you know, good times. That's all I'm saying. Good times. Anyway, people, that's going to do it for this one. I will see you in the next one. I'm sorry this was so long. Okay. Bye.